Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Rose.
And I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
This is our preview for Only Murders in the Building, Season 5, Episode 9, the second to last one of this season somehow.
Crazy. It's gone by so fast because they dropped 3 episodes right at the beginning that it has just sped by, which is too bad. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been a decent season overall. And
Yeah.
it's really ramping up now, of course.
And this upcoming episode is so interesting because we've had some experimental episodes of this show before. Them doing one this late in the season, it's a fascinating decision.
It's a risk.
Yeah, like this upcoming episode is titled LESTR because it's named after that robot, and it's just like, okay, this could be really, really fun, but is it going to interrupt, I don't know, the pace or the style of the show too much?
They also had the Theo episode, which was definitely an experimental type episode that is easily the best episode
No.
of this entire series. So the fact that they have the bar so high for so many years, I'm very curious to see how they're going to be able to get that high with this episode, because this whole episode, it is going to be told from the perspective of LESTR the robot.
Yeah, and you're sort of doing two different jobs at once here then. It's like, okay, number one, you're giving us this experimental idea that may or may not work, but at the same time, because this is episode 9, you have to give us some real answers. Even if you don't tell us who the murderer is at the end of this, like, you need to be pointing in some direction so we solve it fast in the finale.
Absolutely. Episode 9, they have usually basically told you who the murderer is at this point, or you're about to know. Like, you've been given enough information. And if this has all been told by the viewpoint of LESTR, then LESTR has seen something, which means that Howard knows who the murderer is and has either known all this time or is finding out by the end of this episode.
Yeah, there is so much interesting stuff to talk about with Howard in this preview, a character who has been vastly underserved over the past few episodes in
I
general.
agree.
Before we dive into any of that, though, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you guys do not miss any of our other Only Murders in the Building coverage, whether that is reviews, previews, theories. We love diving into the world of the Arconia with you, and by subscribing, you are making sure that you're not only supporting us, but that you don't miss any of our other videos.
Absolutely. It is also Matt's birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you,
We have a
thank
whole bunch
you.
of pictures up at our Instagram, which is Matt and Jess TV. And if you wanted to head over there and give us a follow, we would really appreciate that. It would be a really lovely gift for Matt for his birthday.
Yeah, I
So
would love
thank
it
you.
so much. Thank you, everyone who has. Okay. First and foremost, we'll give a little bit of information regarding the synopsis here.
Yes.
So, told through the lens of one annoying robot who may hold the key to more secrets than anyone realized, the Arconia throws one last party as the residents discover that a killer may still be in the building.
So there's a lot going on here. One,
Okay.
why does the robot have to be annoying? Two, the killer is still in the building.
Yes.
I mean, that's a huge clue that they're giving away here. And also 3, sadness, because it's the end of the building.
I know, and it's still like, for me, in my heart of heart, I still don't think there's any way in which these people leave the Arconia, because then what is season 6? It's like only murderers trying to get back to the building.
Yeah, it's the thing that really stuck with me is that the killer may still be in the building. And I'm just kind of like, if that's the case, that whole episode that we had about the support staff, we're still then looking at the support staff, or has the killer come to this party to say goodbye? You know, the billionaires might be there as well. Camilla, I'm sure, is going to be celebrating that she's taken over the building. She's kicking everybody out.
Yeah, I could easily see, you know, the mayor, one of my top suspects here, strolling in and being like,
Yes.
my fellow residents of New York City, the Arconia has been a valuable institution. And then he spews a bunch of other nonsense about how it's going to be commemorated forever in this casino, blah, 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 blah.
Absolutely, the mayor is going to be there. If he's there for LESTR's funeral, he is there for this.
Yeah, and that just feels like a very convenient excuse for him if he is the killer, and if he is just trying to make sure nobody figures anything out, because he can just sort of butt into everybody's business without them really thinking that much about it, because they're just like, oh, the mayor cares about little old me.
Okay, let's talk about butting into people's business because this
Okay.
whole episode feels like we're going to have a big Howard showcase because it is about Lester the robot.
Yeah.
Somebody that Howard has put all this Lester information into this robot. He is the person who's been getting all the gossip from him. He has said that this robot has information on every single person in this building. And it just feels very much like either Howard knows that this building is being sold off and that maybe Camilla has promised him that if he kind of keeps it secret, uses the robot, that he will be promised one of the hotel rooms, because I'm sure that's what she's going to turn all those rooms into.
Yeah.
That one of those rooms will just be permanently his apartment. He'll have an apartment in a hotel and he will still live there. Like, it's very weird to me that this building is being sold off and there is nothing about Howard. He has not said anything. He is not upset about it. How is that a thing? He has to be being paid off. He is, or gifted an apartment or something to make sure that everybody sells and that it all just keeps on rolling. He knows too much.
It just feels like there's a really good chance that's the case. Because, I mean, for starters, one of the trademarks of Howard is that he's always around pestering people. And that's why it's been so weird that he hasn't been on the show that much lately.
He also has the robot that has all the gossip about everything that's going on. He very specifically said that. That means that he will have known that people have been moving out of the building, as other residents know as well. But this robot will know that there's a bunch of offers that are coming in and people are getting bought out.
The idea of Camilla paying him off, too, does make a certain amount of sense. Just because, what do we know about Howard? Other than that he has really nice taste in sweaters and that he loves pets, it's that he wants to feel important. And I think a lot of us do in life, but he's somebody who constantly feels overlooked. The idea that Camilla might be able to go to him and be like, I will promise you an apartment, like you said.
Maybe you'll have a job here. You'll be a manager at my hotel and casino. You'll have a really important job here. You'll be in charge of security. Let's start you with the Bash's robot.
Yeah, and I think this idea, like that whole desire of he wants to be acknowledged and loved, like these are the reasons why there's all these theories that he might be the Moriarty behind all this stuff over the seasons, because he always wants to feel involved. And regardless of whether he is that or not, just the idea that, oh, if this is his emotional sort of incentive to get into things, like, that can be bought, whether it's with money or it's with attention. But here's another interesting thing about this robot, though, is that we saw this robot get pushed off the building earlier this season.
Absolutely got pushed over the whole side and into the fountain, just like Lester number 1. And now there's Lester number 3 that's been brought in. So somewhere along the lines here, where Lester the robot, call him Lester 2, it got pushed off the building, but had all of Lester, our doorman's information in him. So when the third, Lester has shown up, robot number 2, how much of that information was able to be retrieved? Or because Howard is the person who put that information in the first robot, he's just re-put that information in the second?
Okay, I think there's a few interesting theories that we can bounce around when it comes to all of this. Like, first and foremost, I think it's easy enough to assume that, all right, maybe some of the data in Robot Lester number 1 here ended up lasting, because we've all watched these ridiculous tech demos of new products where someone is like, let me set my phone on fire or throw it into the ocean to show you how durable it is. Like, I think if Bash really is responsible for designing this robot, and of course he's going to want to make it look as fancy and safe and technologically sound as possible. Also, let's just play out the idea here that, okay, Bash may not have anything to do with the murders at this point. He does just like to have control over everything. Maybe he does get to a point where he is like, I want to make sure that everyone knows I'm not involved in all this. So here, enjoy all the data from the first Lester robot because it clears my name.
It's also possible that Bash is the person behind it, giving Howard this power. Obviously, he's the person that's given him the robot and has been able to watch everything. We know that all three billionaires are fighting to have this casino. So they're going to want to know what Camilla is up to. So it's also possible that Howard is just being paid off by Bash,
Yeah.
as well as with the robot, to be like, when I get the casino, I will give you an apartment there, or I will give you a job and an apartment there. Your life will be very comfortable forever if you just make sure that this robot goes around and does everything that I want, so I can see everything that Camilla is doing. I still think that the robot is who went in and took the finger, because there was like those scuff marks in front of the fridge. It was probably from the wheels. That's another possibility, that it's actually Bash that's paying off Howard in apartments and money and jobs and, comfort.
All of that, it just charts with what we've seen from the billionaires as well. Like, they're so constantly competitive with each other, where it's like, I want to one up you. No, I want to one up you. Yeah, the idea then that Bash doing this to try to one up Camilla, like, that makes a lot of sense. Just like, do we want to say that Jay is so unbelievably charming, or is he trying to one up everybody through Mabel at the same time?
If he's that incredibly charming, they needed to give him more screen time, because it hasn't come across like that to me just yet.
He
just seems like a spoiled billionaire.
Yeah, he does seem a little bit like a bro. And I think that's why we've said at one of our big issues, it's just like, we have a hard time buying that Mabel's really that into him at this point.
Yeah.
But in general, like, there's a couple of things I'm really expecting from this episode. Like, first and foremost, if this is really all about the Arconia, if you guys do not put Uma or put in Ursula or more of the support, like, these people have to be front and center here.
Oh, for sure they are. And the support staff will be there, because they've got to be involved in this murder in some way, whether it's cleanup or putting Nikki's body in the freezer. We know that Randall now picked up the crank. Like, they've got to be there. It's the thing that I have an open mind about, but I am worried about, is having this party and having it from the perspective of a robot, an annoying robot. I think that the minute that I read that this is an annoying robot, I was like, oh, okay. I don't really want to be annoyed for the whole episode.
Well, and here's the thing, guys. Paul Rudd is one of the most charming humans alive, and he is. Why do you want to have Paul Rudd voice an annoying character?
I know.
But I just really hope that we do get some information and answers on Randall. And I mean, in true Only Murders fashion, there is a good chance we'll learn about the true killer here. I would not mind if they do leave that a mystery, because we've talked a little bit about how they've made a couple moves these past couple of episodes that feel like they're sort of subverting their typical formula here. Like, I would love to see that tradition continue, and that we're genuinely surprised by the end.
Yeah, and I think that they are trying to do that by having this more experimental episode where it's like everything is done through the lens of the robot.
Well, that's where we are entering Only Murders in the Building, season 5, episode 9. Like, I do think this season...
Episode 9! I can't even believe it.
I know. It's especially sad because I feel like this season has gotten progressively better over these past couple of weeks, and I'm really enjoying it right now. I'm going to be very, very sad. So let us know. What do you think we're going to get in this episode? Will the robot actually be annoying? Give us your thoughts, your theories, and also remember to hit that subscribe button, and you can support us more by joining our Patreon. We have a link in the description for that. Thank you so much for everyone who is supporting us there, and we will see you here next time.